I can kind of jump back into video games if you want, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
So what I really want to talk about is like this week I've just been sitting back. You know how your brain just starts thinking about stuff that you don't even know or remember that you should know. you know, so I was sitting at work. I was doing some work on a 3D printer, and all my mind could think about was Mortal Kombat, like the original Mortal Kombat, right? And then I started thinking, why am I thinking about this right now?
Mhm.
And then I like realized that it's like such a cherished moment in my life, right? And my brain's just trying to let me know that. So every day this week, right? I've been thinking about it more and more and more. And it got me thinking, like maybe one day I would like to talk about like your top favorite games of all time, right? And then talk about some of the ways that they changed your life. Because I know I keep falling in and out of love with video games, right? It's not like a linear thing for me.
Right.
It's I fall in love with each individual game. I don't love every game. Right?
Yes.
So like when I think about Mortal Kombat, it inspired me, right? Because the story behind Mortal Kombat is like it's one of the earliest games that I can remember playing, right? And I played the game with my father. And it's not like oh yeah, he let you win thing.
Yeah.
It's like every day we play Mortal Kombat, he just tear me up, beat me up. You know how many times I got grabbed by Scorpion or frozen by Sub Zero? I can't do nothing. I'm just standing there, just a little kid, just getting beat up every single time. But I kept wanting to come back and play the game, right? And eventually, I learned how to counter him, right? So I do the duck down move where you just sit crouched down the whole match.
Yeah.
And wait for him to get close and then do the uppercut. It made him want to stop playing with me because that's all I would do whenever we played, right? Because I knew I could beat him. He'd have to walk over there to get to me, and then I could just do an uppercut. Right, but that's not the only one. His friend used to come over, and he actually knew how to do the fatalities and stuff. So whenever he beat me, he'd do a new or different fatality, and I'd be like, "What are you doing? How do you do that?
Yeah.
Can't keep beating me like that. These two adults beating me down." But I don't know, man. I loved it. I loved the game so much.
Yeah.
I loved the game so much. I wanted to keep coming back and playing it, getting better. I think that's one of the things that inspires me. Games that actually like challenge me and things that leave a memorable mark on me. Like if you get frustrated, like the first time I played Donkey Kong 64, I got stuck like not even at the second level, right? Like there's this level where Donkey Kong is going through these different islands and he has to unlock Diddy Kong from like this little gate. Like the game doesn't give you any like major hints towards it that I could understand as a kid anyway.
Right.
Right. So that's where I quit. It was like maybe 30 minutes into the game. Like fast forward 10 years and I play the game again, right? And I realized I started to notice those things I didn't notice before, like explore, and I finally got them out there. And I was so happy I finished that. Like I cried, man. It was amazing.
That's cool.
Like, yeah,
That's a good
games that challenge you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lasting memories. I loved it so much. You got those challenging games, and then there's the social games that I like.
Yeah.
You know, each one has its own experience.
Yeah.
So just different ways to fall in love with games. So how about you guys? What's yours?
My favorite is I had so many because we when it first came out, I'm gonna say when Atari first came out, Dig Dug, I love Dig Dug. I mean, just it was the whole puzzle, and you always had something chasing you. You always had to try to kill. You had to maneuver something just to kill this thing that was chasing you all over the place. And it was just
Right.
strategic the way they set them up. Either they were so close you could turn around and pump them up with air, and they pop, or you have to dig all the way around one and set it up to where the
Yeah.
pop would fall on them. And I just loved it, man.
Yeah.
It was just, I got you now, and that always bring it. That always brings it back to me. That was my favorite one to run to. That was my favorite.
Yeah. I like to stop before the rock and wait for it
Yeah,
and then dig real fast.
yeah, exactly. Because
Right.
my my dad cleaned buildings, so on Saturday, I think it was Saturday mornings or Sunday mornings, we go out to this place on Independence called Goonie Golf, and it was an outside miniature golf range, and on the inside they had like video games all the way around. I mean, you could play anything from Pac-Man, Galaxian, Tron. There was everything in it. But we got done with cleaning, and the manager would always give us quarters. He'd open up one of the machines and just hand us a bunch of daggone quarters, man. And we sit there and play until mom and dad was ready to go. And that's all we did. And it was just cool. It was just cool, man.
That's good. You'd be hard pressed to find one of those these days, man.
Oh, I saw two. I saw two yesterday. One in the dude's garage of Miss Pac-Man, and it was an earlier. What was the name of that game where the guy had the sword and he was it Dragonheart, to where you had to swing the sword. It was all cartoony, and I can't remember the name of that game. So help me God. But I always died on that game, and it was Dragon Heart or Dragon Sword or something like that. But it was sort of like Disney based. But I mean, the characters look like cartoons, but you had to interact with the game, and if you messed up on the game, you die every time. So that game was cool, but it was just too hard for me. But I was little back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it kind of sounds like that one game, Mappy, with that little mouse. You run around the house.
Oh, that was another one. That's another one.
Yeah. Yeah. Try to get away from that cat.
Yeah. Yep. Fergie, Kurt.
Well, I mean, I didn't get into the video game scene until later on. Like Kenny said, my parents cleaned buildings, and we started cleaning buildings. Of course, people knew this place on Independence called Gooey Golf, and we cleaned it. And yeah, he used to give us a bunch of either quarters or tokens. Man, I never forget. And we just play all the games all day long till my mom and them got done. But it was one game. Me and my dad always worked on cars, right? I always worked on cars, right? Doing stuff. And it was one dragster game. I can't figure out what the name of this game is, but it's a dragster game. But you can actually go in and build a motor and then race the car. And it was so challenging to get the compression right on the motor, the timing right on the motor, and how far, if you was going a quarter mile or eighth of a mile, you had to consider all of that. Everything was like a part of that race car, and you had to factor in all of that. So that was kind of like a challenging thing for me. As you know what I'm saying, I started getting older, started working on cars. Man, I've been working on cars, man, since I can't remember. I'd be out there handing my dad tools, and he'd be like, come and do this and that. But then that game kind of reinforced everything that I was learning, and that about cars and stuff like that. I really did love that game. I forgot the name of it. But you know what? Tonight I will be looking for that game again, and they probably got better versions of that game now, that where you can really build a motor and kind of the compression and you know what I'm saying, and just kind of build your race car. But I want to try to do that. I want to find a game like that. That's kind of pivotal point in my life. Like, hey, this is fun. I love working on cars. So
Yeah.
I
What
need that
what
free
level
screen.
of what level of Pac-Man was that?
Oh.
That's messed up. That's messed up, man. But yeah, man, oh man, I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what's next, y'all? What y'all?
Right. But I bet you it doesn't have to stop at like video games, right? Like I'm constantly thinking about board games because I got little kids now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, when you gonna be old enough not to eat the pieces?
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna destroy you and I'm gonna destroy you in some Monopoly. I'm a tyrant.
Oh my goodness, man! Now you talk.
Yeah.
Now you talk.
Right there.
We used to, man, my family, like you see in the movie, sit around a table. Man, my family used to actually sit around a table, and we be like, man, how I'm gonna pay for this hotel, boy? I'm about to run out of money. And my daddy might be in jail. My sister trying to go down boardwalk. She trying to get all the railroads, and I got two on. Man, it was something else, man. It's just like and you better not lose a piece of that Monopoly board. My mama would flip. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We need the pieces back in the box.
Back in the box right now.
Right.
Back in the box, right?
You know they got a
playing
Charlotte version of that game now.
Huh?
They got a Charlotte version of that game.
Oh man, I gotta get that. I gotta get that.
Yeah, man. There's like so many versions of that game. Like my wife just picked up the one version where you can cheat, but if you get caught cheating, you out. Right.
What?
Really?
It's like a cheater's version. We haven't played it yet because we're still waiting for the kids to grow up. Because adults will trick you. I can replay my Mortal Kombat days on my kids.
Yeah.
Through Monopoly.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got that. We have quite a few versions. We got that version. We got the version with like the actual credit cards in there, so you don't have to actually deal with money. You just put it into the card thing, the bank.
What?
That's cool.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they upgraded. That's cool.
What about did y'all ever play? I know we had did we have a doctor game? I think we did have a doctor game.
Yeah, the dude with the red nose.
Yeah.
Operation.
We had Operation. Yeah.
That thing.
Get that old steak out of his heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should have swallowed.
Always the funny bone.
Oh my God.
Every time.
Did you realize how dangerous that game really was, though? You could get shot.
Oh, that'd be funny. Yeah, man, the good old days, bro.
Yeah, man.
There was that, and then when I was growing up, it was the Pogs, right? The ones you set down on a table and you take the little medallion and you flip the Pogs over.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Pogs. Another fad. That thing was cool.
Yeah. It's becoming popular again.
It really? They should bring back Skullet.
Yeah. Today's kids don't know. They're just recycling toys.
Exactly.
Man, Skullet. Boy, what?
All in mind if you don't listen that much. But some of y'all